Guys, welcome to Inside the Sale. Got a very special guest with me today, Nick Ayala. Say hi, Nick.
Hello. How you doing?
So Nick is there, and I want to get right into the structure, thought process, and the way, I guess, that we're going to accomplish 400 offices across the country by the end of 2021. And it's appropriate to be on Inside the Sale, because one of the things that we learned about 3 years ago, we were talking, in the corporate office, and we're always trying to get better, and that's like for real. Like, that's not just, everybody, a lot of people say that. I'm trying to get better. It's like, well, why don't you work on getting better? Like, you never listen to what people are saying. You never work hard at getting better. We're always trying to get better. We don't think we have all the answers. And, some of the staff, like, you ever notice how difficult it is in some of the people that have been recruiting for a long time to answer somebody when they say, where's your local office? And you say, well, you're independent, which is all true. You can work out of your house. I get all that. And if you want to, great. I'd like to work out of my house. I don't need to go to an office. That's awesome. I mean, we're ecstatic. I wasn't good in my house. I needed to get my car and drive somewhere because I had two kids like pulling at me. I get it, but like you're trying to dial and you're trying to do your thing, and it wasn't working out very well. So that being said, we said, probably about 18 months ago, we're serious about offices. We really, really need to get offices, and that just got to happen. How do we get them? And of course, we're insurance people, right? We know a little bit about real estate. I was in real estate a long time. We'll figure it out. Well, what happened was I have Nick on because Nick's a very good example. Nick was one of the first ones we did in Boca. It's like, okay, hey, Nick, we're going to buy or lease them, right? So we do one or two. We buy them, some lease them. And then, Nick, we're going to go ahead and find people that kind of come in. You're going to give them a below market rent. That's kind of the deal. Like if Boca's going for this much, we're going to charge them this much. They're not into like multi-year leases, and they want to stay, they stay, pay month to month, and it kind of covers your costs. You put in what you put in, a flat fee every month. Obviously, it's above theirs. But like hopefully it becomes sustainable, right? We can't ask Nick to, pay for everybody's stuff. That doesn't last, right? And we're very, very selfless with the run the company and the way people are paid and what y'all get out. We charge for nothing. So I was like, all right, we started doing that. And then what happened was, and myself, like I started, buying stock, and I'm good at borrowing money. You can borrow money, buy the offices. But then Nick's like, hey, wait a minute. Number one, I don't even know what we have outside for parking, but we know it's not a lot. And to say that we've had some issues, that would be an understatement. And then it's like you have people that rent here, and there's how many renters? 14?
Yeah, 13 or 14.
13 or 14. And then sometimes we'd have, and again, they'd be working with people, and we'd have, a lot of people, and just say 100, like a lot, And then, get attorneys who are like, hey, you do know, like, people in the offices and, especially in today's world, people get to watch what you buy. So we want to be socially responsible, be smart, right? There's a lot of like, hey, how many people can be in a building per the fire marshal? How many people can be in the building per all that kind of stuff. So we kind of took a step back, And then Nick on top of it was like, hey, man, we have people that are renting space. They can't find a parking. So we just started looking at like, we didn't want to have a system that would discourage people from, going ahead and get the office, because what we realized was our need for offices was so great that we were overwhelming offices, which means we needed bigger offices and we needed more offices. So what happened is we'd open one in Brandon and Tampa, and before you know it, the 5 offices are rented and there's 100 people there. And it's like, it's not made for that. So we have a training room, but it was like in a podcast room. So we took a step back and we opened a few more in Brandon. Then we decided, why don't we get bigger buildings, right? So we're getting 4,000 or 5,000 square foot buildings that we're leasing or owning. What if we went to 15,000, 20,000 square feet where we have one open in Miami that, how many offices are in there?
There's like 17 to 20 plus tons of open space.
Literally the building itself has a capacity to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And do everything the right way. For all the code, park, you could be fine. Parking, everybody in there, the whole deal. So we really started looking at this and thinking, okay, how can we help anybody who's in any spot in the country who goes, hey, I'd like to open an office. Well, we don't want him or her to have to come out of pocket with some inordinate amount of money. We wanted to make sure that people could kind of figure that out together. And then we had a lot of people renting from other people. And they're like, I'm in a lease for 3 years. Like, you signed a 3-year lease? Yeah, I signed a 3-year lease. I'm paying $2,700 a month. It's like, God, four of you within a couple miles of each other cumulatively are paying $10,000 a month. Y'all could have dialed it down to pay $1,000 and then had better space, work together, and been a year lease instead of 3. So we really kind of realized, man, we need to help folks out and help them understand how we get ahead. And again, you never want the foundation has to be good so we can continue to build on top of it, right? So we started doing some stuff recently with the company Workspots. So these are the digital cards, right? So you sign up on workspotsdigital.com. It's got everything. 8 remain, go through it all, fully customizable, built-in templates, share with anyone through your QR code or unique URL, business card scanner built in to save. I mean, there's a myriad of things. There's a lot of people out there try to do them, and that's fine. We only work with people that we know have the interest of our clients and agents at heart, not people who are trying to do stuff. So like we're very cognizant of you're independent, you can do whatever you want, but we also want to make sure we're working with companies that are going to abide by all of the laws, regulations, usage of your name, all that kind of stuff. So we have people that we actually trust. And we have really, really good attorneys too. And that's kind of our job. That's what they do. I mean, so we're always ready if somebody's not doing that. So, we started doing that, and then we had been approached and like, there's also a way we do a lot of space where we work with these, real estate, CPAs, all these entities to help manage when I say the logistics of getting people in multiple offices, getting people access instead of kind of going like, hey, Nick, you're going to come down now, let me get you a key. But, Nick, you can't really have a key because you're not really renting space. So, Nick, you really can only come to the office when it's open. And, Nick, we're closing today at 4 because today we want to close at 4. And you're like, man, I just got done running appointments. It's 5. I was going to make some recruiting dials. And we're like, yeah, but nobody's there. So it really was just kind of the wild, wild west. And we said we've really got to find a way. We're one big team. This is one big team. So we got to find a way to work together where we go ahead and if I live in Boca and I'm running business in Minnesota and there's an office that if I want to come and do some dialing, I could, from my phone, if I was with Workspots, access that office. Go, hey, man, like I'm going to be I know the hours. I know when it's open. Again, it's not going to be open at 2 o'clock in the morning. That'd be weird. But, hey, we're open. You can come in anytime from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., whatever it is. Or I'm in Minneapolis running business, and I have 2 agents I'd like to recruit and meet with. They haven't started with us. Now I can go to a Starbucks. Nothing wrong with Starbucks. I can go to a noisy restaurant, or I can say, hey, I have office space in Minneapolis. Do you think the 2 people being recruited are more apt to go, hey, I'd like to come in there? You have an office space. Okay, got it. So for us, we have a new one opening in Boca. That's opening up, I think, March 1st. So if you're looking for space in Boca and you're going, man, and I feel bad. We have people coming from meetings. We can't, right? Nick, I mean, it's bad. Nick's calm.
It's great, but it's bad. It's a good
Correct.
problem.
It's phenomenal to have all the people in there. The new one has a bigger training center. So the Mondays and Thursdays, the meeting, those will be the bigger meetings. And so it's really just allowed us we understand what it looks like and feels like as a business entity to have the space and how important it is. So we start talking to Workspots like, hey, we can run something where, and again, our, legal's also very happy to have some kind of relationship agreement with people using the office space as far as just all these things, right? So there's obviously a fee, for them to manage it and do the app and the whole deal. And then the guy or girl that runs the office has a lot of expenses. They just do. Like, hey, the podcast room, that's not free. Hey, these walls need to be painted. Hey, we should get one of them smart boards. Hey, we want to get food for the event. All these things we're saying, we can't just say, hey, y'all go get your offices. Good luck. Pay for everything, because then you'll get one, Nick, and that's fine, and you will get one. But if we're going to build to scale, Nick's going to be like, I can't come out of pocket every office and do these things. I just can't do it. That's why nobody else has done it in our space. They've not come up with a way to scale it. And this, by the way, they can go try to do it. They can go sell a lot of insurance and do the things we do, but they can try. This isn't complicated. But it's one of those things where, when you start something, when we started the company, we knew if we didn't get leads right, we couldn't scale. And we scaled in the last 2 years with Facebook and instant internet life leads. Had we not gotten that figured out, we wouldn't have been able to scale. We have some things we're doing contracting-wise that are allowing us to scale. Yes, we increased staff tremendously, but we've also done some things on the infrastructure IT side that some of you are piloting now and make it a lot easier to change, give somebody a raise, contract, all of that instead of this archaic back and forth sending paperwork, which is the way the industry has been run for a long time, just very technologically deficient, if you will. So we're trying to make sure we stay ahead of that. So really what we did was said, okay, well, how does that work? And like, let me show you how a lot of these attorneys and real estate agents, all these other people do it. When they have shared space, they do like a flat fee, $99, and that means you can like access. And I think if you sign up now, it's free. It's free until I think March 1st. So you want to sign up, get on the app, do your whole deal. You can connect with people, you can communicate. You might be on there and go, hey, I'm coming to Minneapolis. I land on Sunday. I'm gonna be down on Monday. Do you know what time the office opens? This guy responds back, yeah, we open at this time, man. I'm looking forward to it. Whose team you on? I'm on this team. Cool. I'll be there dialing at 7 a.m. Awesome. I'll be there at 8. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, by the way, I have some new recruits coming in. Oh, what office are you in? I'm actually from Boca. Oh, that's weird. I have 2 people in the South Florida area. Could I have them come into your office? Sure. And I think to Andrew and some other people's points, let's be honest, it's been where people have said it's nice to know that we're all truly working together, because we never wanted to be a place where we were worried if so-and-so went into your office that you're going to be like, well, I have local space. I would never, and we're very good about it, but I mean, it's still a big company. Things happen. At the end of the day, we wanted every agent to know whatever office they were in locally, that we were all one big team. It didn't matter. So somebody comes in here and goes, Nick, I'm from, North Dakota. And Nick's like, okay, but, I just moved down here, man. My team's in North Dakota. Man, I got to be with you because I'm in Boca now. Nick's like, no, these offices are all networked together, bud. We're all one big team. You are happy to use my office. Use it as much as you want if you're on the Workspots deal, because that allows us to kind of figure out where everybody's at. Again, if you don't want to be in office, don't like using office, don't like going to office, please do, for the love of God, do not sign up. That would just be weird. Could care less what you do. But I mean, I just want you to be successful. If you're successful and I don't never want to do that, that's fine. Most of the people we found want some kind of local support. And, there are companies that charge fees to be at the company. This is to help the people that are running the offices. A lot of people are already doing this anyway. They're paying the rent. I mean, in fairness, Andrew was doing this. They were too big. And Andrew's like, we have to do this in Vegas. It's too big. We max out of people all the time. And we had people just coming in to come in. So we really had to do something. It's like, and the costs were going through the roof. I had to figure it out. So they were doing this $99 a month, whatever. That was just that office, didn't encompass everything. And then we started talking. Nick started talking. So, Nick, you have the same issue Andrew had. So it was like, cool, once y'all start figuring out, talk to each other, and then, Workspots pops up, and it's like, okay, wow, we can actually accomplish a lot more. And again, it's one policy a year. So if you go, well, I'm paying, it's like, there's one policy, you can use office whenever you want. If you go to a hotel and rent the meeting room, that's going to charge you, you're going to spend that a day. So, you want to do a meeting, you want to do it, you have 5 or 6 agents, they have conference rooms. You find out through Workspots where they have for conference. You can reserve the conference room. You can rent a cubicle, which is like probably 100, but whatever each office is. Like this one in Boca has tons of cubicle space. Those will probably be $100. I mean, they're not much. You're like, hey, that's mine for a month. And if you part of Workspots, there's all kinds of stuff logistically that I'm already part of it. I don't have to pay. Then if you rent an office, I don't think you have to. There's things you don't have to. You don't do that. Obviously, you're already renting an office. You're not going to go. You're a renter, so we can already go like, hey man, use whatever you want. You all jump on Workspots and work it out together. So we're really excited about the scalability. When I was talking about this with Integrity the other day, like, man, you guys are doing something that nobody else. We're already at 100 offices, by the way. Now we're just getting them all kind of networked in, but we're already at 100. Yeah. And so I think that the days of us having to say to people, man, I'm sorry, I'm not happy about it, but we don't have a local office. Those days are coming to an end. And by end of 2021, now I can't promise you if you're out in the middle of some state that we don't have, it's a lot different. There's a lot more offices in Florida than they're going to be in Montana. I mean, like North Dakota. I'm just saying we're going to go where the people are. But I was talking to a guy yesterday, Will, he's like, hey, I'm going to do one in Albuquerque. I'm like, cool. He's like, I got these 5 guys to rent with me. How do I do that? I'm like, find the space this size, look at the cost here. Each of y'all pay this much per office, work it out together. Bill Greenleaf, send the paperwork if you want. Our person at Workspots that handles Family First Life is Sarah, right? What's Sarah's last name?
Noli, I believe. Noley. I think that's how you
You
say
sure? Why don't you verify it, Nick? Pull it up for
positive.
me because I don't want to make sure I give you the wrong information. It's new to us too, obviously, but so if there's a question, hey, I'm in this area, I want to send something in. Hey, I'm looking at renting office space. Hey, I want to be on there. Did you find it?
Yeah, no, and I think that's how you pronounce it. Noley, Noley.
Okay, so Sarah Noley.
Yeah.
All right, what's her email?
It's Sarah
with an H?
Sarah.
Yeah.
At workspotsdigital.com.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, perfect. So email Sarah. They gave us contact, so we're good there. So it's really just getting people to understand how we can network this thing and take it to the next level. Our obligation at corporate is to find things that would impede our progress to $1 billion. We've learned recently that people are really truly understanding that if I spend $300 a week on leads, $1,200 a month and issue 12,000, or I could spend 1,000 or two week, 4 or 8 a month, and issue 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I mean, that's not complicated. And then it makes you better. More leads makes you better and just makes you become better because you have more shots on goal. So I think we're really getting that from a sales standpoint, how people grow their own business personally and have the money to invest in their agency. Because that's the key is, do you have money to invest back in your agency? Nick, you talked about this just the other day. You're like, man, so many people with staff now.
Yeah.
We've been talking about staff for a long time, and things, they come in phases. Yeah. You be talking about staff for 9 months, and then all of a sudden 4 months later, after 9 months expires, 5 months later, you're like, man, everybody's got office staff. And then, wow, they're growing like crazy. And then they're holding their staff accountable. If they're not growing, they get new staff. And I think so for us, this is really going to help us network everything. And you probably noticed we were trying to do this with Ed Terrell and corporate. And, dude, we just couldn't. Ed's getting office addresses. We're putting them on a website. It's archaic. And if you've not noticed, I'm not the guy to build an app, in case you wanted to know. Ed's not. We at corporate, it's not who we are, man. We found something. They do what they do. You can go and download that app on the App Store or Google Play, right?
Yep.
Workspots app.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, please don't.
One thing, too, that I
please don't apologize.
Thank
I
you
didn't mean
for.
don't please don't interrupt. Go ahead.
I got to thank you for is, dude, you from day one have been so good at beating up lead vendors to make sure the price is right for the agents that I know you're working on stuff right now for FFL, for the agents with lead vendors, that they're going to put special lead codes into the Workspots app just for the people that are on the Workspots network. So agents will be able to get special lead codes because of what FFL's been able to do and work out on that side, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I like to call that negotiate, not beat up. But I mean, honestly,
maybe that was the wrong term.
No, that's okay. No, but I mean, I think it's advocate. Like the agents that you're like, when I was out there, I want as many leads as I get for the best price I can get. I didn't think they would be free. You know what I mean? If you ask Jeremy Thornton, he'd probably be like, no, that's what he does with America. We try to get that hang. Somebody asked me the other day, no more trips anymore. I'm like, no, it's 8%, 8%, 8%. And, so I think that we want to have in there things that would actually pay. That's just how we are. Like, we'd want to offer things in the Workspots app that would actually pay you $100 a month, if that makes sense. Like, we actually go, here, with these discounts, you'll save X amount a year, which means Workspots is free and you save this. And we're not trying to hurt. We're just trying to go, like, we're just trying to get people to network. And I think that looking at knowing how important that space is for us, because I've watched it in these offices. When people ask about Andrew's growth or Dave Witcher's growth or anybody that's really, I'm always like, but the common denominator is they work hard, have a good attitude. I agree with that. But there's office space in there somewhere. There's just office space. Nick, you guys have worked hard and had a good attitude in the last year plus. I agree with that. We've also had an office space. We have a place for people to come, dial together, get around each other, network, come in on Mondays and Thursdays, do their thing. We've had that. And I know that I see Frank with agents when they come into his office, and Chris, and even when agents are new, after this, they'll be free for 30. We're not going to, you want to sign up for Workspots, you're brand new, you're free 30 days. You don't want to continue it, don't do it. But if you go, I think the office would help me, do it. Get your lead discount and it pays for itself, And a lot of it's kind of like, again, I mean, from attorneys are funny, like, well, then we got to be smart about everything and acknowledge everything, right? People being in the office and having access and liability and the whole deal. So I think that it's really going to change our game as it pertains to growing the business, because I think we've had so many people, now, Nick, you'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 spaces. You don't mind signing the lease. You don't mind doing that. You don't mind paying a little bit more than everybody else. You just don't want to be stuck paying for everything for everybody. You don't mind doing that. You don't mind having people come in the office from out of state and different teams. By the way, as long as it's not maxed out, that's part of you register, like, I have this many. When the app says, hey, I want to get space, if you go in there, and it'll say no space. And again, we're buying bigger buildings and leasing bigger buildings, so that'll be less and fewer and far between. But you have 2 in Boca. Brandon's the same deal. Yep. You might go into Brandon and go, hey, man, I was going to come in there with 5 people. They're brand new. I'm on Workspots. I'm going to bring them in with me. Cool. You might go to one office that says, no, you can't on Monday. The next one will go, yeah, absolutely. You come on in and you'll do it right in the app. And then you can communicate if you needed to in chat from the app. Just, hey, listen, I'm in here, but it said, what's the deal with space there? What's the deal with parking there? Yeah. What am I looking at when I arrive? How early y'all going to be there? And then your phone will give you access. You literally walk there, right, when you're Workspots with your phone, and the door will open. And if you're not, if you want to open it, you'll go in and unlock it. It won't just, as you're driving down the street, it won't open. But, we'll make sure it's set. So I think we're getting so far ahead because we're not remotely complacent at $300+ million in paid business. 190 of it was life. And our goal in 2021 is $600 million, 400 in life, and 200 in annuity.
Dude, I don't mean to interrupt, but like Ryan Maltalto did this in Miami. He did a presentation on this in Miami, and Monday Dial Day yesterday or last week, whatever it was. We had like 15 to 20 brand new agents, all because of the Workspots app, going, hey, I wanted to come in, I want to do this. So it's working, and it's just starting for I mean, it's going to bring everyone together.
Correct.
It's pretty neat, man. And there's like this bulletin board communication feature within the app where agents can communicate with each other. They can post how many dials they're doing. Andrew Taylor just called me the other day and told me that he's putting it on his smart board, where agents then can, on the discussion board within the app, post how many appointments they have, and it's creating like this competition. It's on the board. So I mean, just things like that are so cool. People are going to realize how to use this.
That's the stuff we were trying to, like, Ryan's one of those guys had a system that none of it, like, what, and they're paying, you're paying money, you're doing it. Now it's like through the app, you can do the same thing. Yeah. And I think we want it to be more fun. We want it to be competitive. We want it to be connected. And again, you're independent. Do what you want. Be part of it. Not. That's completely up to you. Believe me. But I think we continue to get. I asked like 3 or 4 people that hire a lot, what's the number one question here for new recruits? And every one of them, not with me, they weren't all together, said, "Where's local office? Where's local office?" And I have guys that are like, "I'm in this area," and Shawn, one of the reasons I'm having a hard time building is. And again, my answer 12 years ago was, you don't need an office, you have your house, who cares? And that is, listen, you can do this from anywhere. Believe me, if you don't have a local office, I didn't have an office for a long time. I didn't do it. I had to get out of my house and go dial and park somewhere or go wherever, but I didn't have an office space that I rented necessarily. And but I also know that my first year or two when I was trying to hire, it's a lot harder to meet them out at some restaurant or at McDonald's or at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks and go have them each there at noon. Because I think the first thing they're thinking like anybody else would be. Where's the office? And this is a little bit odd. Like, you all have an office space. Now, you could be here on a travel trip, come into Boca, really nice office, schedule it. Boom, is availability. Got it, cool. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Hey, I'm coming in. Mars says, hey, you booked the upstairs conference room. Yep, cool. She meets them at the door. We're going to have a lot of that too, support. So you might not have your own staff yet, but the staff that's at the offices is going to serve as, they're not going to make recruiting dials for you. They're not going to balance your checkbook or your bank account, but they're going to definitely go, hey, good to see you. Yep, Chris is upstairs. Tina's upstairs. They're ready to meet with you. Come on up. Y'all need some water. Great. They're there. Thanks a lot. You need something, let me know. It becomes a lot more professional, and it becomes a lot more networked and a lot more duplicatable. And I think that's the biggest deal for us is 400 is just scratching the surface, but we have to start somewhere. And we want to be bigger than anybody's ever thought about being. All of this stuff continues to allow everybody that is on their way there to Integrity Partnership to get there. We have to be more streamlined, and I think we've done that. We, again, want to be a complete plug-and-play system. And if we can do that, life is really good, And then I'm leaving out at all.
$600 million.
$600 million. Paid life.
Oh, that sounds real good.
That'd
Let's
be
do
great.
that.
$600 million in paid business in 21. $400 million in paid life. $200 million in
paid
annuity.
life sounds really good.
I don't see why we can't do it.
See why not
$1 billion in paid life annually sounds really good. Yeah. You cheer for that one. That one I heard. It wasn't even working earlier, but that was such a good one. I heard it. Well, guys, again, the conference crazy good. The training we have online is unbelievable to help you out. You know, the stuff that we need to do is simple. I mean, again, I leave you with what we talked about with Dave Witcher and many other people that have grown by $1 million a month in 12 months, which is, hey, man, you got to sell 30, 40 grand a month if you need the money and invest all back in your business outside of paying your bills for 1 year. Stay crazy humble, and business isn't personal. I mean, if we do those things, then life is good. Everybody, in my opinion, if you're full-time and you're a producer and you really want, you want to achieve, help a ton of families and make a bunch of money, I think your goal should be Hall of Fame. And I think you're building a business. I think your goal should be to increase your issue paid volume by $1 million in the next 12 months. If you're at 0, like Dave was when he started a year ago, then boom, go to $1 million. If you're at 400 and your goal is to get to 1.4, I mean, that would be my goal. I think it's very achievable. This is such a numbers business. You give me somebody doing 820 grand a month, I go, how many writers? They'll say between 78 and 90. It's 10 grand per writer, man. Mm-hmm. Dave, where'd you hit $1 million? How many writers? 102. About 100 writers to $1 million. Yep. It's not a big number. 7-some-odd thousand got issued with us last year. 7,200 paid agents, I think. Millions of agents and hundreds of millions of people in America. So, do you think we've scratched the surface on the opportunity? We are doing 10,000 instant leads a day. They can produce 50. They can produce 50. If we wanted 50 and had people we had a big enough sales force, 50. We could grow by 5 times in our sales force and have 0 lead problem. Our paid selling volume, we'd have no issue. So, hope this helps. Get the app. Go on the Apple Store, Google Play, Workspots, and the stuff with the cards. You want to get that as well. The digital one, they're on there. I have any questions, you can let corporate know. We're just trying to stay ahead and trying to look out and make sure we can all take this thing to the next level and find a way to make it where there's nothing coming out of your pocket. And we do that the best we can all the time. But we make sure that, the people getting the offices too are in a good place and protected, so we can all just continue to roll, let everybody do what they got to do and make the money they want to make, protect the clients they need to protect. So appreciate it, guys. Have an outstanding day. Great week.